Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Solstice Day 6. Let's begin in a seat, shall we? Let's begin actually in butterfly pose. Bring the bottoms of both feet together. Sit up nice and tall. You can grab a hold of your ankles and let the knees fall open towards the mat. The more tight your hips are going to be, you're going to want to bring your feet out. The more flexible your hips, you can bring the feet in to get a little bit more of a stretch. You can also place your hands behind you to help lift you up and create a nice long spine, if that's comfortable for you. We're going to start off with a few breaths, just becoming present on our mat, doing our best to leave all of our stresses off of the mat during our practice. Also, you can feel free to set an intention for your practice or for your day or for your month or anything else you see fit. We count to 4 with each inhale and we count to 8 with each exhale. So let's begin. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. And gently open up through your eyes. We're going to slowly begin to melt forward. You might need to adjust your glutes a little bit so you can lean forward, melting the chest towards the feet. You can grab a hold of your feet if you're not disgusted by your own feet, or just place your hands on the ground, that's fine too. Keep the neck in line with the spine, so try not to crunch like I'm doing, and try not to just let it hang. We're gonna take a few breaths here. Stretching through the hips and the lower back. Let's slowly begin to roll up. Let's twist over to the right side, sitting up nice and tall. Look over that shoulder. And take it over to the left. Come back through center. We're gonna stretch out through the wrist really quickly. Place the fingertips facing you. And just round through your back as you roll through the wrists. And place the tops of your hands on the mat. Again, fingertips facing you. And just round through your back. And just organically roll through those wrists. And we're gonna bring the left leg out long, right leg comes in, so that foot is on the inside of that thigh, knee is bent. We're just going to melt forward, come onto the forearms, getting a nice deep stretch in that hamstring. And come on up. We're gonna wrap the 2 fingers and thumb around that big toe. And then we're going to open up through the chest. Bring that right arm over right ear. Take a deep breath. Make sure that chest is nice and open. And come on up. Let's switch sides. This time the left foot is on the inside of that thigh. Right leg is out long. We're going to melt forward, coming onto those forearms. If you need to pop that knee up, go for it. If you feel too much of a strain. And come on up. Wrap those fingers and thumb around the big toe. Open up through that chest. Left arm over left ear. And take a deep breath. And come on up. Let's meet be in our tabletop. Let's just take a moment, again, stretching through the wrists, placing the top of one hand and then the other. And come on back. Lift the belly button towards the spine. We're gonna stretch the right leg out long, and we're gonna bring it in and touch the left elbow. And then stretch it out. Bring it in, crossing over, touching the left elbow, stretching it out. We're going to inhale to stretch, exhale to squeeze. One more time. Come on back. Bring that right leg back. On the ball of that foot, push back with that heel, getting a nice stretch through the back of that leg. Come on back through neutral. And we're going to tap, tap, bring it back. Tap, tap, bring it back. Make sure you're breathing. And bring it in. We're going to take it over to the other side, but first take a moment, stretch through the wrists. Putting the top of one hand on the mat, and then the other. And let's take it to the other side. We're going to stretch the left leg out, square those hips to the mat, lift the belly button towards the spine, and we cross it over, touch the right elbow. Inhale to stretch, exhale to crunch. And we're going to stretch through that leg, bring the ball of the foot out, push back with the heel. Take a deep breath. Come on back. We're going to tap, tap, bring it in. Tap, tap, bring it in. Make sure you're breathing. One more. Bring those knees together, sit back in child's pose, melt the forehead to the mat. Take 3 breaths. Let's round through, come back to your tabletop. We're going to step the right foot up, right on the outside of that right hand, and then we're going to frame that foot. Coming into a low lunge, we're going to sink into that front hip as we pop up on the fingertips. Again, if you find you're having trouble popping up on the fingertips, a block or 2 is a great place to start. And we're going to come on back to our runner's lunge, flex that foot, keep those hands in line with the ankle, keep a nice long spine. If you need a bend in that knee, that's fine. But we're not just hunching over. We're keeping a nice long spine. And come back through center, sink into that front hip, into your low lunge. Opening up through the chest as we pop up on the fingertips. Again, another great place for 2 blocks. And we're going to bring both hands on the inside of that right foot, and we're going to walk it out, heel toe, until it's halfway on, halfway off the mat. We're going to sink into that front hip, or both hips. If you need some height, I suggest you place your block to give you some height, because we're going to reach behind us and grab that foot. If you do not have a block, see if you can try it by popping up on your fingertips. You can also roll onto the outside of that foot as you sink into both hips towards the front of the mat. And gently release that back leg. We're going to come on back to your tabletop. This time stepping the left foot up on the outside of that left hand. And then we frame that foot, sink into the front hip, pop up on those fingertips in your low lunge. Come on back to your runner's lunge. Again, nice long spine, foot is flexed. Maybe you need a bend in that knee. And let's come on forward. We're gonna heel toe that foot halfway on, halfway off the mat, slightly turned out. Again, great place for a block if you need a little extra height. We're gonna sink. We're gonna reach behind us with the left hand, lift that foot, grab those toes, and pull it in towards your glute. You can also roll onto the outside of that front foot, making sure both hips are square to the front. And gently release that back foot. Come on back to your tabletop. And let's come into our first downward dog. Curl the toes, lift the tailbone towards the sky. Take your dog for a walk. Take a few deep breaths. Relax the shoulders. Away from the ears, widen the fingers. Melt that chest towards the thighs. So when I say melt the chest, I mean I'm melting the chest. Head is relaxed. You should be able to shake your head no and yes quite easily. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the mat. You can also keep a bend in both knees to straighten that spine a little bit more. Later down the road, you'll be able to sink the heels down. We're going to open up, lifting that right leg. Open up that hip, bringing heel towards the glute. And from here, we're going to straighten back out, square the hips in three-legged dog. And bringing that leg out to the right. Come on back. Coming in through the center. We're going to step it up. Drop down on that back leg. Sink into the low lunge. Come on back to your runner's lunge. And again, sink. Frame that foot. Curl the back toes on that back leg. Come on into your first high plank. Here we chaturanga. You can drop your knees down. Or use 2 blocks in front of each hand so that when you lower, you land with each shoulder on each block. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower. Flip the feet. Open it up. Don't squeeze your glutes in your upward facing dog. Relax the glutes. We're going to bend the knees, curl one toe, then the other. And come on back to down dog. Pedal through the feet. that chest. And let's bring that left leg high, three-legged dog, big inhale. We're gonna exhale, heel towards the glute, open up through that hip. Come on back to three-legged dog, square the hips to the mat, and bring that leg out to the left. Come on back. We're gonna come through the center, give yourself some height, and step that foot right between those hands. Lower it down. Sink into that front hip in your low lunge. Opening up through the chest. And then we come back to our runner's lunge. And come on back. Frame that foot, pop up on the back. Chaturanga. Use the modifications if you need. Breathe in, exhale. I'd much rather you use modifications and build up the strength. And then eventually, you'll have a nice straight chaturanga. Instead of trying to do it too soon and dropping either the chest down or maybe you're dropping the hips down too soon. So just keep that in mind. Come on back to your down dog. Walk the dog for a moment, take a deep breath. And on your next breath in, right leg comes high, three-legged dog. We're gonna exhale, cross it over to the left. Come on back up, deep breath in. We're gonna exhale, knee to nose. Come on back up, three-legged dog, big inhale. And exhale, right knee to right elbow. One more time, three-legged, breathe in. And we exhale, we're gonna step it up. Between the hands, keep the back leg lifted. Rise up. Crescent lunge. Hands to heart. Check your stance. Push back with that back heel. Nice 90-degree angle in that front hip, but make sure that knee's not over the ankle. We reach over the head with the arms. We're gonna frame that front foot. Straighten on that front foot as we flex that foot. And then sink. Straighten and flex that foot. And we sink. Straighten. And sink. Turn and flatten on that back foot. Both hands come on the inside of that right foot. We open it up. Humble warrior. Using the outside of that back foot, really pressing into the outside of that back foot. Pressing into all four corners of that front foot. Squeeze the inner thighs. Lift up. Straighten in your exalted warrior. Straighten that front leg. Big inhale. Exhale, we reach it front. Tip into your triangle. You can place the hand on the shin or your block. So we turn on the ball of that back foot. We're gonna step it up so our stance is closer. Coming into pyramid pose. Come into a flat back here. You can interlace your arms behind your back. And then release. Bring the arms overhead. And hands to the mat. Coming into standing split. Keep that back leg active. Keep a bend in that rooted leg. Maybe you wrap one hand and then the other. Don't worry about the wobbling. Bring both fingertips to the mat and step it up. Forward fold. Let the torso hang heavy. Tailbone to the sky. You can sway it out here in a ragdoll. You can walk your fingers to the left and then the right. You can just hang out. Let your head shake yes and no. Feeling a nice deep stretch in those hamstrings. And let's slowly roll it up. Reach the arms overhead, big inhale. And let's exhale, bring it over to the right, hips come out to the left. Come on through center. Big inhale, exhale, over to the left, hips come out to the right. Come on back, and let's dive it down. Come into halfway lift, hands on the shins, shoulders open, come back, chest is open, nice long spine. Deep breath in and exhale to forward fold. Hands come back to the mat. Come back to your plank, take your vinyasa, either drop your knees down, use your blocks, or do a full chaturanga. Breathe in, exhale, open her up. Don't squeeze the glutes, relax the glutes. Bend the knees, curl the toes, come on back to down dog. Pedal through the feet, we're gonna take it to the other side now. This time, left leg comes high, three-legged dog, deep breath in. We're gonna exhale, bring it over to the right elbow. Come on back up, deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Deep breath in, three-legged. Exhale, left elbow. Three-legged, breathe in, and exhale, give yourself some height. Come on to the ball of that back foot, and step it up. Stay lifted on that back leg. We're gonna slowly rise into Crescent Lunge. Sink, push back with that heel. And we frame that foot. We straighten and flex on that front leg. And then we sink. We straighten and flex. And then we sink. Straighten and flex. Sink into it. Last one, straighten and flex. And we sink into it. Turn and flatten on that back foot, both hands on the inside of that foot. We slowly begin to open up through the chest, right arm to the sky, coming into Humble Warrior. Utilizing the outside of that back foot and all four corners of the front foot, we squeeze the inner thighs to lift us up into Warrior Two. Breathing in, coming into Exalted, straighten on that front leg. Exhale, reach it front. Come on into your triangle. Open up through that chest. Maybe use your shin or a block. Take one more breath. We're going to slowly begin to bend on that front leg. Turn on the ball of that back foot. Step it up closer, coming into pyramid pose. We're going to come into a flat back. Interlace those hands behind you. That back foot is at a diagonal, front foot is straight. We're going to release those hands gently. Bring them overhead and frame that front foot. Bend on that knee. We're going to come into our standing split. Deep bend on the standing rooted leg. Back leg is active. Pointing that toe. Maybe you wrap one hand and then the other, if that's in your practice. If not, just try one hand Don't worry about the wobbling. That's making you gain muscle. Fingertips to the mat. Step it up, forward fold. Let that torso hang heavy. Take a moment to breathe. Bend in the knees. Slowly roll her up. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Both feet are in Tadasana. Well, your whole body is. But Tadasana feet, meaning all four corners of both feet are into the mat evenly. We're going to slowly begin to bend that right leg. See if you can grab that toe, wrap all three fingers around it. Right arm comes behind us for counterbalance. We find our focal point and begin to stretch that leg out in front. Don't worry if there's a bend, that's fine. And slowly bend it in. Grab that toe with your other fingers, and maybe you just open it up to the side. Left arm comes out for counterbalance. Maybe you straighten it out. Bring it in. Gently release, or as gently as you can. Shake those fingers out. Come back to your Tadasana. And we're slowly going to lift the left knee. Grab that big toe with all three fingers. Left arm comes out for counterbalance. And straighten that leg out in front. Don't worry if there's a bend in the knee. We bend it in. Switch hands. Maybe you just open it up to the side and stay here. And feel free to use a wall in any balance pose. Or maybe you open it up to the side. And gently release. Shake it out. We're going to reach the arms up overhead. Big inhale. And exhale, swan dive it down. Coming to halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. We step it back into our high plank. Drop the knees into tabletop. We're going to bring that right foot on the outside of that right hand. Frame that foot. Sink back into your low lunge. Fingertips in line with that ankle. Come on back to your runner's lunge. And again, sink into that front hip. We're going to attempt a split, so I highly recommend a block that you can land on. If you don't have a block, don't worry, just use your fingertips. So back to our low lunge, we're going to inch back on that back foot. You can either keep your toes curled under or flatten on that foot, it's up to you. And then we're gonna come like we're in runner's lunge again, and then we're gonna slide forward on that front leg coming into our splits, right split. Now, if you only have your fingertips, you're popped up on your fingertips. Just try to keep your spine as straight as possible. And breathe. Now, to come out of it safely, bring both hands over to the left side. I'm going to turn in on my back leg, So that knee is bent. And I'm going to inch that knee and foot in until I can safely come back to my tabletop. Keep that block handy. Left foot comes on the outside of that left hand, and again, we frame that foot. We're going to sink into our low lunge, fingertips in line with the ankle. Opening up those hip flexors. Come on back to your runner's lunge. And come on back. Sink into that hip one more time. And let's try for our split on the left side. We're going to inch back on that back leg. Again, you can keep those toes curled under or flatten that foot. It's up to you. You're going to come back like you're in your runner's lunge again. Except this time you're going to slide forward on that heel and land on your block. Again, if you don't have a block, just use your fingertips. Torso faces front. Nice straight spine. And we breathe. So our peak pose, the pose that we built up to throughout our practice, was our splits. So to safely come out, we're going to bring both hands to the right side of our mat. I'm going to lift up and I'm going to bend that back leg in so that knee is now bent. And then I'm going to bring the knee and then the toe and then the knee until I can safely come back to tabletop. We're going to lift those knees an inch off of the mat. Deep breath in, and I'm going to exhale, knee to elbow. Alternating, but keeping that 1 inch lift in both legs. Drop those knees down, swing those legs around. We're almost there, don't give up now. We're so close. We're going to slowly lay back, one vertebrae at a time, until the entire back is on the mat. Both legs come up. You can tuck the hands slightly under each glute if you would like. We're going to drop one leg, then the other, as we breathe. Keep going. Hey. Hug it in. I don't know what happened to my music. I'm assuming it's my terrible Wi-Fi and cable. Whatever you do not get Xfinity if you were thinking about it, because they're awful. Bring both legs up. We're going to open up those legs. Come on into steeple grip. Lift the upper back off of the mat. Keep a nice distance between chin and chest. Relax the shoulders. And we're just going to baby pulse. Let your core do the work here. Let your core pull you up. Don't give up. Don't stop. Almost there. Hug it in. Give yourself a little back massage. I know you probably want to kill me. It's all good. All good in the hood. Okay, we're going to come into our plow pose, but I'm going to scoot up so you can see me a bit better. And then we're going to be finished. Well, after we do, you know, corpse pose and whatnot. All right, so feet come close to your glutes, hands on the mat. Your whole back is on the mat. We lift the legs. We're going to push off with the hands. And maybe you're here. Keep those hands on the mat. Keep a nice long neck. Maybe you are able to bring the feet to the mat. I do suggest coming up onto your shoulder blades and interlacing the hands, or placing the hands on the small of the back. Again, keeping a nice long neck. If you want to drop the knees down by the ears, that's another option. Make sure you're breathing. Now, if you find plow pose to be too much, a good modification is resting your legs on your couch. So coming right up near your couch and just landing your legs on the seat of the couch. And that's a really good modification. To come out of this pose, we're going to slowly let one vertebrae drop at a time, and we're going to use those hands as a brake to slow us down. Because you want to come out of this super slow, super gentle, super gentle. And when the whole tailbone is on the mat, hug it in. Give yourself a little back massage. We're going to bring knee to nose to counterbalance the back and the spine. And we're going to just twist over to the right. You know, I have to do at least 1 or 2 twists in each practice. It really does help with digestion. In turn, it helps with metabolism. And come on back through center. Take it over to the other side. I am a firm believer in twists, man. I really am. I don't know why I called you man. Sorry. Unless you are a man, in that case, I'm not sorry. All right, come on back up. So, yesterday we finished out in our corpse pose on our back, I believe. Or did we do? See, now I can't remember. Well, heck, since we're already on our backs, let's stay in corpse pose. But I want you guys to put your blankets or your pillows under your sacrum. And then I want you to just starfish. Like, let the legs come out wide, let the arms come out wide. Just completely melt into your mat like it's the most relaxing thing you've ever felt. And then, obviously, make sure all the tension in your body is released. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to do your best to clear your mind. And just be present in the moment. And breathe. We're going to breathe just like we do in the beginning. 4 count for your inhale, 8 count for your exhale. I'm going to play my little drum, and then I will meditate for a few moments, and then we'll meet in a seat. All right, I'm going to stop talking. ahead and start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Gently moving your body slowly out of your corpse pose. And meet me in a nice comfortable seat. You can utilize your pillow or blanket to sit up on, or your block. And just like every other day, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then we're going to release, metaphorically, all of the negativity it's happening in our lives. Just picture it going away with each exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. And let it all go. Deep breath in. Reach up the arms overhead. Hold the breath. And exhale, let it go. Hands to heart. And obviously I know you can't let things go with your breath, but sometimes it's nice to, in the present, feel like you are letting it all go. So please don't come after me. Please. Just, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the practice. I certainly did. I hope to see you back for tomorrow, day 7, which means a full week of solstice down. Wow, you guys are amazing. You really are. Thank you so much for practicing with me and showing up for yourself. And I hope to see you back tomorrow. Namaste, my friends. Love you.